Hey everyone, welcome to the Triangle Hustle podcast, where life, hustle, and construction collide in the heart of California. I'm Lila, your PPE and safety expert.
I'm Rocio, saving you money with insurance and workers' comp.
And I'm Frank, for all your trash and disposal needs. Whether you're swinging hammers or closing deals, this show is built for those who want to level up in business and in life.
From the job side to the boardroom, we're bringing you real talk, real challenges, and our favorite real wins.
Thanks for joining us.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Good morning. Good morning.
We're here alone today.
We're all by our lonesomes.
Yes.
People don't want to be on the show anymore.
No, actually, a couple of people have been telling me, hey.
Yeah, I have some.
Really?
Yeah.
Couple
So I'm
people?
going to tell you guys about my homegirl that wants to come on. But I'll save the details first for later, and then we'll decide. I'll share her Instagram and stuff.
Oh, yeah? Who is she?
She's an old friend of mine.
Oh, so she knows all your secrets.
Well, me and her would have a huge secret that first I got to ask her if she wants me to say it before I even say it. I don't care. It's the past. But yeah, but she's from Boyle Heights.
Oh.
She comes from Hood, Chola prison, but now she works for Pancow. She's like one of the big dogs.
Cool.
And she has her Instagram.
Well, when Pancow hears this, Pancow's going to be like, here are your release papers.
Well, por eso we have to. Anyway, but yeah.
Dude, I love the change. I love when people come back from a good comeback story, right?
Oh, the better the story.
The story from
more
darkness to light.
inspirational.
Yeah.
I got one too.
Yeah?
I was talking to Rocio about her. Shout
yeah.
out to Yvonne. We tried to look up your Instagram, but your shit is private, young lady. And we're trying to figure you out. We're not trying to stalk you. We're trying to see what kind of work you're actually doing, finding people jobs.
Veterans, right?
Veterans.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, yeah. Well, your friends are my friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we can be friends.
And so we could all
Put
be
the Biggie
friends
song, Jordan.
and continue to do the good Lord's work.
Yes.
So
So
let's
talking about the good Lord's work, you guys see
Yeah.
my beautiful cup?
Yes.
Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it gorgeous?
Hope and future.
Yes.
Builder.
So we were all there last Saturday, right here, just up the street from my house at the Quiet Canyon.
And you still showed up late.
I did. Well, I look. So my calendar never aligned with any of the training. So I told Valerie, for the training, I got something to do. Don't worry, just come as a host, not a host, a guest. So she said if I wanted to go to the booths to come at 9, but if I just wanted to go to the program, she told me 10:30. So I got there before 10:30.
Yeah.
Just late for the whole. Pero tú crees no me iba a ir a pintar y que me hagan las uñas and all that. That was for the girls.
That was for the
Yeah.
Okay, but let's tell the
Recovery
audience
woman.
what we're talking about.
We're talking about Third Step Ministry. And for those who may not know what it is or what it's about, it's a nonprofit event that helps women in recovery. Not only do they provide resources, they're actually a real support center group. You guys may have seen our posts, tags from social media. NAWIC LA last year had a drive. Well, everybody brought in cleaning supplies, things that females could use, and it's specifically towards women that are going through the recovery process.
So how many girls do you think showed up?
I want to say we had over 1,000 women, maybe over 500. And this event is just heart-touching, beautiful. Listening to all the testimonials, man. I actually sat with one of the girls there that was a female that went through the third step process. She's been out 8 years. Long story short, she was homeless, age 19, pregnant, big meth user, and she had her 3 children taken away. Long story short, they took the kids away. She was pregnant, so that's the only one that she kept. And she got placed into college. And she said, you know what? I just want to get my son to recovery, give myself to God, because she didn't know God. She came from sexual trauma. She actually came from prostitution. So she had a lot of internal things to deal with. And the counselor that she was getting assistance was actually on my table too. So I got to hear this story from the counselor side. And she provided her with all the support for college. Now she's clean. She got her kids back. And she's about to be a lawyer. She put herself through school. She has her PhD.
Yeah.
The way she said from crack addict to now to be lawyer.
Yeah.
And clean.
Yeah.
How powerful is that?
That's very.
It's beautiful.
Very. The 3 speakers that were there. What was the name of the event? It happens once a year. Am I right?
Yes, it's the event's the third step annual. So this is the 24th annual anniversary.
Okay, so there's not a name for it. Anyway, so so there was like at least 1,000 girls there, right?
Yes.
And the 3 women that spoke.
Oh yeah.
Powerful, right? And their stories started out with deep trauma of sexual abuse, and what it does to you. Because these girls were young, 13, right? 12. I mean, think about that for a minute. That's changes, I think, the way you look about life. Of course, you probably give up on God and you do drugs and you want to come out of your reality because you're in such a fucked up situation, and live through it, survive it, find the Lord, because the Lord really is the one that will really help us with the sobriety. Because when you have that much trauma, you want to get loaded. Yeah. But when you like I said, when you change the perspective, but more than anything, when the Lord sends the Spirit, like you said, when He says He's the Helper, the Holy Spirit, to come and do what we physically just can't do because we're so fucked up. And that's the miracle of the stories. Because now their stories are, I'm getting chills, right? Pastors, married, children, PhDs, counselors, making a difference and doing something, Of course, different audience, you could tell, because some girls were coming straight out of halfway houses. I forget what the step is where they're going to let you kind of come out, but they're going to keep you in a bracelet, ankle bracelet. Yeah. And then, there's some very strict boundaries, but they actually let you come out, which I think is great. You know what I mean? Because you get out of that environment and now you have to come back into, almost like a soldier, right? Come back into the reality of life. And they put them in a place like that event where God can move, It was like fucking amazing.
I think it's also a great place where people can interact with, like, it's not, this is not just you. It's look at everybody else who's been affected by it, and everybody has a different story, different way of
we're all
affected.
Dealt with it. Yeah, we're all affected by something. That's why we're so grateful, And then you get all those people in the presence, and you hear those stories and those songs. Fuck, we're all crying. Yeah. We're all so grateful. Like, oh, this is amazing. Yeah. And it was cool. So my pink cup. So it was they gave it to me because I did make a commitment to make a donation once a month. And I walked away with my cup. So you should have seen even if it was $1, you should have seen all the girls, $1, $5, whatever, walking away all happy with their cups.
I showed up with the men. Shout out to Aaron. There's a group of us to set up the tents and the signage and all that stuff, the manly work. We didn't get shit. We didn't get a cup. We got a piece of a sandwich.
Well, I'm going to let you know right now. We thank you. Yeah. We thank you, Frank, and all the guys. We got a piece of a sandwich, but it was fun. We had a blast. And then after we set up, we went across the street and had some lunch. Some of us hung back because they work security, and I was asked to work security, but I was too tired.
You were too tired.
But I was too tired.
Jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, who am I going to choke out?
Whoever misbehaves.
Nobody was going to misbehave.
Yeah, no.
But
it was great.
Let me tell you guys something. We're at lunch, and and we're talking. We're just having this amazing conversation with the men. And there was a gentleman there. I forgot his name. But he's a believer now, and he's been, helpful, being of service. But he brought something up. He's like, I used to wonder, does God exist? Like, I've never seen him. People always talk about it. Show me a sign, show me a sign. And we walk around and we're thinking, does he exist? Does he not exist? I've never seen him. I never see his work. And then another guy goes, fuck, dude, look around. Look at this shit. Look how many people are here. Look what we just did. We set up for a powerful movement of people, women coming in recovery. That's God moving. So you ask yourself, does he exist? Yeah, motherfucker, look around. Open your eyes.
Yeah, open your eyes. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, coming from someone that didn't grow up that way, not knowing what God was, I understand that, because you don't know what you can't see, right? Like, you don't know
or feel, or maybe have ever felt.
Yeah, if you've never been exposed to it, it's like, how do you know what it is? It's kind of like in your head, you're like, people are like loopy. They just like sing and praise and You know, like whatever, like they still drink and they smoke. So like in my head when I was younger, I was like, they're a bunch of hypocrites. And especially if you grow up like in the shitty situation, you're kind of like, oh, okay, like you're opposed to it. And even into like my young adulthood where I was, you know, centered on my career and I had let go of my past and anything that had dealt with that, I still just kind of thought, oh, it's me. Everything I'm doing, it's me. I'm the reason why I'm here. I'm the reason why I got out of this. But then you start to go on and you realize you're like, there's more to life. And, you know, there's other things that, you know, stressors and other things you might not feel fulfilled. And that's when you're like, all right, like let me give this God a chance, or let me listen to it. And it's, and then once you surrender and you listen, I would say, it's completely different.
What things start to change.
They do. They do.
Yeah. Because why? Because there's power, right? He's alive. He exists. It's real. And you can feel it.
It's love,
like you said. But you gave the key. You said the key thing.
Surrender.
You have to surrender first, and then what? And then you have to learn. Because if you don't know God, how do you get to know somebody? Just like how do we get to know each other? We hang around each other. We listen to each other, right? We tell each other stories about. That's how we get to know Him. So how do you get to know God? There's only the book. There's only that one book that tells us all these stories about how wonderful He is and how powerful and how just and you know how He can do all these supernatural things. It's like reading a good book. Can you imagine it? You believe it? That Jesus, right, you know, came miraculously through Mary and they hung him and it was Him and that's your Savior, then you know, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
And now, because like you say, there's only one way to get to the Father, and it's through Jesus. So it's...
Well, yeah, a lot of people think, and I have these conversations with Aaron all the time, and it's like, I go to church on Sundays. Well, what else you got? You know, I pray every day. Okay, but do you have a relationship? Do you know what He did? Do you know that He died for your sins? Do you know He took on the flesh and He went through all this suffering just for you?
Yeah.
Do you know any of these stories? Do you know His movie? Do you know?
Yeah.
I bet you if He was on Instagram, all y'all would know and shit, you know? Did you see His story? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, people do the bare minimum and you got to do the work. But
and of course, that's, you know, like you said, you've got to do the work.
Well, even like knowing the story of God or opening the Bible. I never opened up the Bible until like 2 years ago. I felt like, how do I not know? You know, I know all these insurance terminology and all these like, insurance things, but I don't know the oldest book in life, the Bible. I've never even opened it. I don't even know what it's about. And I remember when I went to class and I was the only person who raised my hand, like, oh, because they asked, like, has anyone ever not opened the Bible? And I was like, oh, me. And, you know, I didn't know any of the stories. I didn't know Sam. I still don't. I'm still trying to match up certain stories and stuff. But knowing how it was broken down. I knew about Adam and Eve just from like society, but I didn't know the story of it. And, you know, knowing what happened, his reasoning, Moses, everything that he talks about in the Bible, which is people would be partying, drinking, idolizing other things. It's what we're doing now. So it's like these stories are not old. This is like actually present and it's true. And it's a thing that mankind, we're men and we can't rely on ourselves because men make mistakes. We're not perfect.
Yes.
Like God didn't make us that way. He gave us choice. Yeah. And it's the choice to decide what you want to do with your life. He gave you a book, like here it is, you know?
Yeah, you know, as they say, you know, the flesh wants what the flesh wants and the matters of the flesh. And you start thinking with you know, your other head and stuff.
Well, people always, you know, politically real smart people that say they always look at history to learn lessons, to figure out what can happen, to teach us what to look for when things can happen. So the Bible, same thing. If you believe that it's true, that it's from God, He wrote it through these guys who the theme of it is just so right on. You can't even find a mistake. So talk about where you want to go to learn.
Yeah, I mean,
especially to
it's like
guide yourself as a human.
It's like Rocio said, it's almost like a guidebook because you got the Psalms and
because one thing that's different now is just our technology, but people are still the same thing. People are still making mistakes. People are still drunks. People are still cheating. So people are still killing, and that's what the Bible is. But that's like the thing. Like it's us. Like it's people. Like we're still the same people that were, thousands of years ago.
Yeah.
Same character traits, same character defects.
Same needs too. We all just want to be loved. We all want to be happy. We all want to feel a purpose. We all want to, and this thing right here, dude. You know what blows my mind? You see the image of Apple, and it's a bit. It's like, talk about the representation.
Are we gonna get into conspiracy theories?
No, talk about the representation of the first sin. Right? He ate the apple, and this phone I think is just.
Hey, I believe in God, but I'm not getting rid of my iPhone because it's real easy to use.
That's why I'm an Android user.
No, just meaning, the social media, the internet.
You know what? Android users, man, I'm sorry, Rocio. I love you to death. I'd do anything for you. But you ruin our group chats.
I know. Everybody gives me smack about it. They're like, who's the Android user here?
Yeah, you ruin our group chats.
My job's like, who
Android user is this? You're ruining our cute bubbles. Can't send clear videos. Can't do shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna start a GoFundMe, ladies and gentlemen, to get Rocio an iPhone.
No, I'm sure you're
everybody
fine
in
where
my
you
family
are.
has iPhones, and
yeah.
Well, I don't know. You just told everybody having an iPhone could be a sin.
No, I didn't say that. No, it's what's in the phone. This phone, and it's in all of them, right? It's just this one. It's just wild. Like
if you think about it, there's
shit.
deeper meanings behind a logo, right? Like there's creativity. Like Apple's so successful. They're genius. They are genius when it comes to marketing, hands down. Like
use the Apple, but why bite it? That was the.
Who knows? It was it could have been anything, right? Let's get the benefit of the doubt. We're all out there doing the Lord's work. We're out there. We're all very spiritual. This is all happening very, very fast. But I'm glad that we're here. We're connected. But to that point, let's.
Well, I want to ask you something.
I want to ask you something.
Me first, ladies first, right?
Well, ladies first. I'll go last.
Okay.
Yeah.
So talking about doing the Lord's work and so on, because I'm sure everybody saw when they killed that Charlie Kirk guy. Okay. Did you see the video?
I saw the video. It was it was graphic.
Yes.
And
did
tragic.
You know who he was before they killed him?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I followed him on Instagram.
You did? Oh, okay. So, because that was brutal to watch. I was at the golf event, so distracted, saw it, fucking just saw the blood go. I was like, who the fuck? Who was that? And Sam was like, oh, wow. And then didn't pay too much attention. Was like, when she told me who it was, then I cried. First, I cried because it was brutal. Then I cried because I thought of his mother, and he was 31, like Christopher. I lost him at 31. And I didn't even know what to think. And I had just caught COVID. So, but later, talking about somebody that was making an impact, talking about Jesus, like you say, maybe making the truth hurt through his debates, and they freaking brutally killed him. Now, I don't know who did. I don't know if it's true if that young kid did or whatever, because, there's so much.
Well, people start speculating, right? And I'm not, I'll be the first to admit that I don't follow politics as hard as most people do, because at the end of the day, I don't remember the last time I felt like the government was cradling me in its arms and did something fucking wonderful for me. Shit, they took off, they abandoned their jobs right now, and a lot of, but anyway, that's another subject.
Yeah.
But
You mean the shutdown?
Yeah, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes.
But when I saw the video and I heard about it, I follow him on Instagram. I thought that the debates he was having were helpful, because he was just like anything else, right? You have these liberals and they give, I believe I'm a woman. Okay, more power to you, but tell me why. That was one of his biggest things. He'd have these debates. Tell me why. What makes you a woman? But if you feel like you have the right to say that you're a woman, okay, then he has the fucking right to say why. Or ask you why. Whatever the case, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I love everybody, so I don't care what you believe you are.
Yeah.
And
there's the magic word, debate. He just went to debate. He didn't tell you what to do. People say he was a racist and he didn't judge. From what I see, again, what the algorithm feeds me, I guess, he was, he had all kinds of black people in his company, and he didn't, if you were gay, he didn't judge you. He just said, I have a different belief, but you do you. You do you. But he went to the colleges, to the kids, because what's his turning point. You know, he wanted to turn like what he believes is going on in college with all this ideology about different things, right? Talked about DEI, pissed a bunch of people off. Talks about transgender and all that pisses a bunch of people off, you know, and it's like for us, because I'm way more conservative when it comes to sexuality. But anyway, the thing is that he debated. And then you have, you know, people that each have their opinion. But to kill him, to shut him up, because why? Because he was making traction, and the evil. Sometimes I almost even like the bad against the good, like the evil, almost like they killed Jesus. Like, shut the fuck up, motherfucker! You're making a difference.
He didn't just have debates in colleges. The dude was on people's podcasts. I saw a podcast where he was on the show with a bunch of porn stars. But here's the thing: he was spreading the word of God. Okay, and he was in front of all of them. And why do you do what you do? But don't you think that by doing so, you're kind of like, you know, this, that, and the other? Okay, so he was doing a lot of other things. But here was my biggest issue with this whole thing, was just people's opinions and what they started posting. And he deserved it. And yeah, this is what you get. And just blatantly forgot the fact that he was, number one, a human, a Christian, a father, a husband, living his life, taking care of his own, as best as he could, as best as we all could. No one deserves to be shot over anything.
That's why it took me like, how evil is this? They're taunting. We got him. Ha ha ha. At this point, I was like, good Lord. That's like evil against everybody that mourned for him.
Well, shame on them. That's what he gets. That's what, and people talk a lot of shit who have it good. People talk a lot of shit who have it good. You have the fucking right to sit there and pass your judgment and say whatever the fuck you want to say, because you have that right. People have died for your right. People have sacrificed for you to be able to do that.
Well, look at the memorial pact, right? And then they were saying that after it happened, that Google or whatever, that so many people were Googling Bible, Jesus, people flocked back to their churches like that following Sunday. So, you know, like they say, sometimes things happen because God, who represents the good, wants to get people's attention. Like, there's some shit going on. Y'all better pay attention, because the impact. I mean, that story was all over the world. Everybody knew. And then, of course, they say, well, maybe he got his little toe too much on the political side. Maybe that came from there. Maybe it just came from hate of truth or whatever. But you know what's crazy? Not crazy. His wife, right? Couple days, she was like, well, you know, because she saw it. And then I don't know if it was a week or two later where she came up and said that she forgave the guy that did it.
Yeah.
Right. And it was like, people are like, oh, she's not even mourning. And oh, how could she already do that? You know, and it was like, talk about
strength
or God. Mm-hmm. Like, Jesus forgives you for your shit, for all our shit. You have to forgive this guy. And you probably should forgive him now, because it's only going to benefit you anyway. Because you got some big things to do, because your husband was killed, and now you got to pick up that fucking torch and move forward with what, you know, he was doing. Again, everybody's going to judge. Oh, that bitch, she's already wearing all her makeup. How could she be grieving? Like, but it's called supernatural. People could have that strength.
Haters, right? And the grieving process is different for everyone. And you know that better than most.
Well, people know that when we die, they have that they're already there. Oh man, we got to wait to get there, because it's, you know, a beautiful place, or
they're in a better place. Yeah.
Even though it's like, no, he's supposed to be here. He has children. He has a wife. Yes, but you know what? It happened for a reason. Let's see where it goes from here.
Well, they should bring back the mollywop.
What is that?
Because we all grew up in a different generation where if you acted stupid, you got mollywopped outside of the head, and you got a little act right in you.
Yeah.
And
wait a minute. But is a mollywop with your hand?
A mollywop's just when you don't expect it and you just get hit outside the head because you're acting like a dumbass.
Like that. Really?
Or you say something stupid, and then a few hours later, you're just walking down the street and boom, mollywop.
Yeah, or with a chancla.
And then you don't even have to say shit. You just walked away. You just walk away, and people was like, "Why did that just happen to me?" You know why? Why? But
that's hilarious.
Yeah, my aunt never used her hand. She used objects. Like,
yeah,
any object.
That's not even. I get traumatized when I go back to that.
That old lady.
What was the thing you hated the most to get hit with? Because, you know, I don't know about you, but it was belts, wooden spoons, hangers, chanclas.
So to me, the worst one, because you know how when we had the phones and the phones had those
The cords. Oh yeah.
Dude, that shit will
The
leave a
vacuum
mark.
cord.
Yeah.
Oof. That will make you think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that ever again.
And you know why? You know why kids are fucking out of their mind right now? Because they don't get that shit.
They don't get that. That's
And
what I'm
even-
saying.
Again, let's go back to biblical. It says, what is it? Spare the rod and spoil the
yeah.
fucking kid. Not saying that you should beat your kids, guys. There's discipline with love for correction.
Yes, through communication.
So that your children grow up to be good, respectful, productive adults. Because if you don't discipline them and they start getting older and older and older, they think they know what they think they could do whatever the fuck they want, with no consequence and all that. And it's a mess. It's a mess. And I think we're already society years ago. Kids, but they're not afraid of the cops. They're not afraid of their mothers. They're not afraid of nobody. And that's a big problem. Yeah. It's a big problem. But here we go. I don't know how we're going to, turn it back and see if we could, Rocio, are you going to spank your kid when he needs to be spanked? Good.
Yeah. I believe in
Because if you
discipline.
don't do that, it's not good.
It's talking, right? Because sometimes you have to warn the child and not just scream and do that. You have to give them.
Yeah.
But I do believe in discipline because you need that.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with the kids out of line. Same thing with
some of your kids are more knuckleheads than the other. So one might just need and then the other one that'll do you're not looking and right away they're doing. Eso sometimes you gotta. And I'm not saying you know what I mean, fregazo when they're little so that they can learn young.
But even with that, because I think about all the ass whooping that I got as a teenager, and I still went out because I was like, nothing's gonna stop me. I'll come back.
But by teenager, they say los chingazos don't work. That's more abuse. Like as we get older, you use that when you're little. No, it was my mother. Oh yeah, she was mean. She used to kick my ass when I was older.
Oh yeah,
and I
me
didn't
too.
take it as a loving correction, kind of, right? I was like, oy.
But I mean, what are you gonna do? You just take it. You're not gonna kid her back.
No, well, I think about it now because my mom raised us without my dad. Oh. So she didn't know no other way to correct us. If my dad was there, I know there would have been a different level of discipline just with my dad being there. That we would have been doing the shit that we were doing. But my mom, I love my mom. She's my hero. She did the best that she could. Yeah. Ass whipping in front of my friends once, dude. Yeah. This guy had a crush on. Oh, really? It was embarrassing. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. It's traumatizing.
I didn't have to spank my kids. And to this day, if you ask them, they'll tell you. Did your dad ever hit you? They'll tell you no.
No?
No, but we would get into some altercations. But I think because I was raised that way, I didn't have to. They knew they still know when I'm serious. But people trip out because how close they are. Gabriel obviously lives
How
with
close the twins are?
They are to me.
Oh.
And Christian's there almost every day. He comes over, Dad. My friend was over yesterday and she was like, I think it's amazing that your boys are always here. And they're just talking to you like you're a homie. And but
you're always on them on the phone.
Yeah. And they call me all the time. Chris calls me all the time. And he just, he has these conversations with me about his relationships and shit. And I tell him, hey, I fucked up. Like yesterday, he had an issue with, so-and-so has a lot of friends on the Instagram and this and that. I go, take it from me, man. You don't want to be that jealous dude. I fucked up so you don't have to, So nobody likes jealousy, Chris. Nobody likes, who cares? How many girls are on your shit? How many girls are on my shit? Cares, bro.
Do people pay attention to that?
If you take that,
really
if you go looking, my aunt would always say, the curiosity kills the cat. Because it's true, no matter what, you're always gonna find things in people's closet, right? If you go looking, you're always gonna
find
find
something. If you look hard enough, you'll find.
You'll find. Everybody has something.
Yeah.
But it's it's about accepting and loving the person. But obviously, you could tell when someone's cheating on you or someone's doing things behind your back. But little things like that, like social media, we all have guy and girlfriends. This is social media connections. Now, DMing, straight DMs, that's different.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But follows, likes, no.
Well, there's a lot of weird people out there. And I get there's a cause for concern because there's a bunch of weird dudes out there. There's a bunch of weird girls out there. And they will hit you up. But now it is your responsibility to play to that or not play to that. But, to each their own.
Yeah.
So you're a board member of NAWIC now.
Yes. So NAWIC, right, meaning the National Association of Women in Construction. And so they asked me, and I said yes.
Yeah.
So usually if I commit, I try to bring my best. I give them a year. So I'm going to be doing their safety, I guess, events, making sure I'm maybe like the security guard or something. I don't know, make sure I know how to help somebody if they have a heart attack, or at least that's what I'll do. So I bring something.
Well, I'll tell you, we sponsored them for a couple of years, and the greatest thing that came from us sponsoring NAWIC was Rocio. That's where we met. That's where we met you at one of the NAWIC events.
A member?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But it was hard for us as a company to sponsor NAWIC because we didn't really see a whole ROI. And we tried to get Marisol involved, but she's just such a busy single mom. And we did see some benefits to if she had engaged more in the program. But for us to sponsor an organization and really not have the ability to get some sort of an ROI, whether it was to meet someone or to some sort of an engagement, then it's very hard for me to commit funds,
right?
Because
I'm brand new to all this. If as a sponsor, if you want to come in to sponsor that mission, which I believe is to gather more women into the industry and to provide like mentoring and guidance and so on, not so much to put them in front of GCs for work, because you get so many different levels of women in construction, and I
totally get that.
Yeah.
But when it comes to me, who I don't have the final say, and I have to bring it up so that I could get approval to spend money, I gotta have some sort of a backup. Like, this is why.
Yeah. Well,
then this is why.
Well, but like people in construction, your big GCs and all that, they support because they do believe that we should be encouraging women to come into the field. And that's where I feel we, or NAWIC, we should do our best to go to the schools or whatever to bring girls and say, let's make this money.
And another thing that helped us out a lot back then was the fact that Yolanda was involved, and she would be so communicative. Like, she would communicate hey, hermano, are you coming to this? Are you coming to that? Can I put you in front of this? Can I put you in front of that? Mm-hmm. Then she left. She wasn't a board member anymore. I don't know what happened, or I don't know your guys' politics, your ladies' politics.
Right. Me neither.
But then somebody else took over, and then I got a phone call from some lady. I don't remember her name. She took over for Yolanda, and all she really did was like, are you going to give us money? And I was like, yeah, I'm out. Okay. I'm out.
All right. Well, again,
so fix it.
Yeah.
And then maybe we'll throw you some.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we'll
make it rain.
Yeah. Ooh, I like when it rains. So they're having a fall conference. So shout out to NAWIC. See you next week. Dawn, everybody else. See you soon.
Dude, I feel like I just been back to forth with like events, and I'm having my last one in October 16 in Moreno Valley for the veterans, the veterans and small business networking event, and that's the last one. I think I had like 3 events or 4 in September, and it was pretty hard trying to keep up. I'm like, oh, yeah, I have to be here. I have to do this. So I don't think I'm ever going to do that again. Yeah. Book 4 events in 1 month.
Yeah.
Next year, I think I might do 3, but spread out.
Yeah.
Just give myself time.
Yeah, you got to take care. You got to work too, right?
Yeah.
We got to make some money.
Well, she's the hardest working woman in the insurance space.
My sister-in-law, right, because she follows the Triangle Hustle and stuff, and she was like, man, that Rocio, every time I put my phone on, she's somewhere. She's doing something. I was like, man, I want to grow up to be like that. Yeah. Be up on your shit every morning.
Right? Be all up in it. Turn on your phone. Boom, good morning.
Yeah. But I don't see all that networking stuff. It was like, there's so much leads and so much work right now that you know what I mean? It's like, I just want to hustle.
Happening. Some people say that it's slow. It hasn't been slow. And even when it is.
Well, it was because the projects, let's just talk about just LAX, because that's getting ready to just burn. There was a lot of preparation, and, the ice and all that thing, that fucks things up a little bit, but it looks like, hopefully the president won't cause a disruption and we can move forward, because those Olympics are going to be here before we know it. It's a lot of construction to be
I got a couple of announcements for you guys.
Okay.
Number one, in a couple of weeks, there's going to be we're going to be on Cal Contractor Magazine. They did a spread on us.
When is that coming out?
They just sent over the last edit yesterday, and we're going to have Mr. Kirk review it and then fire it back, and it should come out in the next week or so.
So is that a magazine?
It's a magazine.
Yeah. Okay.
Cal
Contractor. Does that mean California?
Magazine. Yeah, they've been around forever. It's not my first time on the magazine.
They're on LinkedIn too, if you guys want to follow the page.
Okay. Yeah, follow Cal Contractors Magazine. Carrie Hoover, Brian Hoover over there. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for the shout out. Thanks for having us in your magazine. That's awesome. Really great. And then number two, and we're going to talk about this later.
Okay.
But number two, and this just happened on Thursday. A couple of weeks ago, I met with two gentlemen that own a towing truck company. And they hit me up on LinkedIn. They're like, hey, man, we follow what you guys do, your podcast, everything. We'd love to meet you one day. So I had wrapped up a meeting in Ontario. I was actually in your neck of the woods. And I was like, hey, well, I'm over here now if you guys really want to meet. And they were like, what, really? I almost felt like a star. Like, what? Like, I'm popular? I'm not popular. I'm a freaking trash guy. And so I carved out some time and we had the most amazing breakfast. And, this happens to all three of us for whatever reason. Nothing happens by coincidence, right? And in the conversation, one of the guys actually moved from Silicon Valley to help his friend with the towing company, but he was developing apps, right? And that's what that just stayed in my head. And we had this great conversation. You guys will see him because we're going to do some networking here pretty soon because, we believe in helping people out.
Yes.
Even if some of y'all don't help us out back, we still love you haters. But so then I'm taking this with me and then I go to a meeting on Thursday and I'm having this other conversation with a broker and then he starts saying something. And in my mind, I just start going to work and I start thinking about this app. And in relation to the waste industry and all the things that I knew. And then I started thinking about AI. And then I started having this conversation with myself about AI and applications. And it's all going while this guy's talking. I almost felt bad because my mind is completely somewhere else. Well, meeting wraps. I call Pablo, the guys that I met, and I go, hey, I remember you mentioned something about Silicon Valley. So I start telling him everything that I was thinking about. And he was like, holy shit, man. He goes, I'm going to get right to work on it. And I go, to work on what? He's like, we're going to make an app. I go, just like that. I go, dick, just like that? Yeah, just like that. And he's like, eventually, what the difference is going to be, AI gives you all this information nowadays, but AI is not you. And you know a lot of shit about the waste industry. So ours will be powered by AI, but fueled by Frank, the greatest trash man that ever fucking lived.
That's right, yeah.
Right,
so that's in development.
So you're going to create an app for trash, like
it's
for
already in
Mr.
development.
Kirk? So people could order trash bins or
more for me, Mr. Frank.
Okay, so you're going to connect people with different service
So
providers?
I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
I can't say too much. But it sounds revolutionary.
Yeah.
And it's going to help a lot of contractors out.
That's awesome. Well, AI is revolutionary and
it's going to be specific to the things that we do. And it could expand into the insurance space, into the safety space. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you guys about it when we're cut because I don't want you mofos to take my idea.
Yeah, we could do a whole episode on that once you have it all.
Yeah, once it's all in play. The beta version is going to be out in like 3 weeks.
2026?
He's calling it the beta version. I'm not a techie guy. I don't know this shit. All I know is that I have to talk and give it my wisdom.
Good. Anything that differentiates us, shit. And AI is we gotta be on top.
But I just want you guys to know that when I'm sitting on the mountaintop over in Zion, counting my money, you guys are gonna be right there with me.
I sure.
And Jordan's gonna have a real studio.
Hey, this is a real studio.
But with art and like the way she wants.
Little by little. Okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
we get there. So yeah.
Top of the mountain.
I'm not gonna forget about my homies.
Yes.
Well, what do you got? What do you got? What do you have? What's going on with you?
Oh, well, today's October 4th, right? So today is the anniversary of the worst day of my life. But I know that I'm healed at 5 years because usually the day starts very weepy and sad. And but today, I felt, you know what I mean? I know I'm going to see a bunch of his friends. And when I get in their space, of course, it's just right because they're his age. And but we always have a really good time. So I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, I miss my son every day. And
well, I look up to you in so many ways. You are one of the strongest women that I know.
I appreciate that.
And let's not forget why we're really here. We're here in honor of your son.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
So,
Yes.
yeah. So we didn't go to Univision like Rocio wanted to.
Thanks for listening to the Triangle Hustle podcast. If you like what you heard, please give us a follow, a like, and a share with anyone who might be interested in hustling with us. Leave us a comment. Let us know what other subjects you'd like the Triangle to cover. We'll see you next time.